Hello, family. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. I sure am. I always am. And it all begins in your mind. And every day, regardless of what's going on the outside, I'm always having a great day on the inside because it will eventually manifest to your outside. But today, I want to jump right into what I believe. Many of us need many of us need to hear, and I touched upon it before, but I really believe that we need to touch upon it just one more time, and that topic is fear. Fear is very debilitating. Fear prevents us from living our best life. So I'm going to jump right into it. Over the last several months, I've had the opportunity to speak with a lot of people. We shared experiences, where we currently were, and where we're going and where we're going. And it was just a great amount. It was a great opportunity to make an impact and also be impacted by others. But what I've identified during this time, the amount of fear that we have, the amount of fear that strongholds us from living our best life. I've heard fear around dying, getting sick, losing your job, fear of investing in the market, fear of leaving a job you hate, fear of starting something new, fear of speaking up when you need to. Obviously, this is not from one person, but it's over the course of almost a year's time. Hearing the amount of fear that we have in our lives or in an aspect of our life, it's very exhausting. See, fear opens the door to negativity, and fear and negativity ultimately breeds low self-esteem, and low self-esteem will definitely, ultimately, without a shadow of a doubt, amount to you never achieving your dreams or living the life of freedom that we were intended to live, that God intended us to live. So there's a quote out there, and it's pretty straightforward. It almost doesn't even seem like a quote because I'm sure that someone has said it sometime in their life. And it goes like this: too many of us are not living our dreams because of living in fear. Let me say that again. Too many of us are not living our dreams because of living in fear. Excuse me. So, I remember starting out in my career, the first job out of college, and really defined my self esteem or self worth, at least for the first 4 years. Um, it was a sales job where I was a territory manager for a large food and beverage company in the US. I was so excited. And then I went through training, and I was sure I was going to be a success. And I got into the real world and began facing a tremendous amount of rejection, or the real world, obviously within this job. Rejection one after the other. One not interested, another person not interested, a third person I'm not interested, and fear began to sink in, family. And then I slowly began to be afraid each time I walked into a new potential client. I'm fearing the word no or not interested. Um, Ultimately, I manifested that reality in every encounter. Um, and During that time, the only people that would actually, the only people that would actually be interested in my product were those that were proactively seeking out my product. Outside of that, um, anytime I needed to go out and find a new client, no, it wouldn't happen. It was always um, not interested, always, too busy, or we don't want your product. I had fear. Fear gripped me. Fear gripped me, and that's how I spent at least the first 2 years of my career at this company. Then I had my first enough is enough moment. I had my first enough, I'm sorry, is enough moment. I saw a counterpart of mine doing very well, overcoming objections, and he had a no fear attitude. And I promised myself that the next job that I have, I definitely would not let fear dictate my success. I'll just go for it. Um, that's when I entered my third job. It was in the mortgage industry. My boss told me that it would take at least 6 months for me to build my business. I mean, it would be very difficult. Well, I told myself, you know what? I'm going to build that in 2 months, 2 to 3 months. I had a no fear attitude. I had an all can do attitude, handling objections, and I made up in my mind that I would never work with fear again. And I ended up being the number two mortgage sales professional in that department. I'm winning President's Club. I'm going on trips. I'm enjoying my career and getting my self esteem back. Now, I'll tell you throughout my career, however, those times where I wasn't successful, that's because I had a certain degree of fear in the back of my mind that I wouldn't succeed. But those jobs that I succeeded on, fear was out. Fear was out the picture. So many times in my career, I had people coming up to me and telling me that I should be a vice president or an assistant vice president, and even at one time, president. But those are the times when fear really, really got a hold of me, and I feared myself out of potential um, um, potential promotions. I always settled for the supervisor role or manager role, and there's nothing wrong with those roles, but I know that I was living way below my potential within that career. Um, Fear, I tell you, I'm just thinking about it. Fear will keep you from living your best life. That theme I want you to really remember. But fast forwarding to now, I had my second enough is enough moment, and that's when God told me to leave my 9 to 5. I find and follow my dreams. I had to erase all fear and failure, and I transitioned myself 100% into thinking of nothing but success, and I'm fully achieving my goals and living the life that was intended for me. And I took a leap of faith. I took a leap of faith in crypto. And I bought my first crypto, and it was Bitcoin, by the way, for all of you cryptocurrency enthusiasts. And I tell you, when I go back, I love quotes, and I read Proverbs a lot. The quote that helped me through that, and I think you all have heard it before. Fear is basically false evidence appearing real. Um, all the false thoughts in your head of failure, those aren't real. Those are things in your head that prevents you from really moving um, to that next level in life. I know many of us sometimes want to pray our fear away, right? We want to pray, oh God, deliver me from the fear of flying, or deliver me from, the fear of whatever your fear is, from dying, from getting sick, or whatever it may be. And, I believe God is sometimes saying, or in many cases saying, stop bothering me and start believing me. Yep, I'm going to say it again. I believe in many times, because we so often, for those that pray, we so often pray about the same thing over and over again, right? Um, Please help me to overcome something. And in this particular case, I'm talking about fear. And I believe that oftentimes God is, in this instance, is saying, stop bothering me and start believing me. Um, for all of you Bible scholars out there, there's a scripture, 2 Timothy 1:7, and it states, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of control, of self-control. So the next time that you have a task to do, that something needs to be get done, the next time you sit down and assess where you are in your life, think about the power you have, right? Think about um, what you're doing, and what you need to do. Think about how important it is for you to overcome your fear in order for you to live your best life, and in order for the world to be impacted by your gift. Stop fearing those things in life. Um, fear really isn't real. Most of the time, when we get over fear and we get to our goals, we realize that that very same thing that we feared in the beginning, um, it wasn't that bad, or there was no reason to fear it at all. Stop fearing its tracks by acting upon that thing or those things that you believe you need to be doing. That's all I have, family. Hope this helps someone. Um, Definitely would love your feedback. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let's continue to do this journey together. Love you, family. Hug someone you love.